or a multicellular rhizoid. So they don't have roots. Instead of roots, they have a structure that can be either unicellular or multicellular, and those structures are known as rhizoids. So they lack true roots, true stem, or true leaf. None of these are there in it. Rather, they have root-like, leaf-like, stem-like structures. But they don't have true root, stem, and leaf. Okay. Now, another thing to know which is very unique about them is that the plant body of the bryophyte is haploid in nature, meaning it has only one set of chromosomes. The plant body of the bryophyte is haploid. It produces gametes, hence it is known as gametophyte. So the plant body of the bryophyte, for example, if this was the plant body, they would be haploid and they would produce gametes. So since they are gamete producing body, so we will call them as gametophyte. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So the sex organs in the bryophytes, they are multicellular. Okay. The male sex organ is known as antheridium. They would produce antherozoids, and these antherozoids will be biflagellate, meaning having two flagella. So the male sex organ in the case of bryophytes is known as the antheridium, just like how in the this thing in the angiosperm it is the this thing androecium. Do you people know androecium?
Yes.
Hmm. Same way in the male, like the male sex organ in the case of bryophyte is antheridium, and antheridium would produce antherozoids, and these antherozoids would be biflagellate, meaning they would have two flagella. Now, the female sex organ of the bryophytes, they are known as archegonium. It will be a flask shape and it would produce a single egg. So now, why do the bryophytes need water? See, what happens is that the antherozoids, they are released into the water where they come in contact with the archegonium. An antherozoid fuses with the egg to produce the zygote. Zygote do not undergo reductional division immediately. They produce a multicellular body called sporophyte. Now, look, this is the archegoniophore, meaning it makes the archegonia, this one. And this one is the antheridium. Now, the antheridium would produce antherozoids. The archegonium will produce the egg. So now the antherozoids will be released in the water and they would reach the archegonia so that it can fertilize the egg. And when that happens, obviously a zygote will be formed, but this zygote that has been formed, it does not undergo reductional division immediately, like not immediately. Then what happens is that they would produce multicellular body which is known as a sporophyte. So zygote will give rise to sporophyte. Now this sporophyte that we are talking about, it is not free living, but it gets like it stays attached to the photosynthetic gametophyte and then it derives nourishment from it. So for example, if this was the gametophyte, okay, and after that the zygote was formed, so the zygote or the sporophyte will stay attached to it only and it will derive nourishment from the gametophyte. Now, then what happens is that some cells of the sporophyte, they would undergo reductional division, that is meiosis, to produce haploid spores. Now the spores are made and then these spores germinate to produce the gametophyte once again. So talking about like these two structures, the female one and the male one, these are gametophytes. So in order to make these gametophytes, spores are needed. But how spores are formed? See, gametophytes will make the gametes. Okay, now these gametes will fuse, make a zygote. Now that zygote will not go into reductional division immediately, but before that, the zygote will form a sporophyte, a different type of body. Now this sporophyte is responsible for the formation of spores, like the name suggests. Gametophyte makes gametes, sporophytes make spores. Just give me 1 second. Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Hmm. So yeah, I was talking about, I was saying that the word gametophyte, the name suggests it will form the gametes, right? The word sporophyte, as the name suggests, what will it form?
Spores.
Spores. It will form spores. Now, when these spores, they would germinate, they would form the gametophyte yet again. Okay, so this is how the reproductive cycle takes place in the case of the bryophytes. Okay, the whole reproductive cycle takes place like this.
Can
Hmm.
you repeat the
Repeat which part?
reproductive? I didn't understand.
Okay, okay. This plant structure that you're seeing right in front. Okay, this is a gametophyte. Now, what is a gametophyte? See, to simplify it, this whole structure. Okay, this whole two structures, the male and the female, they are haploid. Haploid, you understand?
Yes.
Hmm. And since they are haploid, they are named as gametophytes. Okay. Now,
Okay.
another reason why they are named as gametophytes is because they make gametes. Okay. So,
Okay.
the male gametophyte will make the male gamete, that is antherozoids. The female
Okay.
gametophytes will make the female gamete, that is the egg.
I,
Okay. Now, when the antherozoids are formed, they are sort of dispersed into the water because bryophytes need water for fertilization, right? Fusion.
okay.
So, when these antherozoids would reach the egg cell, they would fuse and form a zygote. Now,
Okay.
normally, when the parent body is haploid, then this zygote is supposed to go undergo, like, see, what do I say? Like, if the parents are haploid, what should be the ploidy of the offspring?
Um.
Tell me, if the
And
parent is a haploid, then the offspring should be
same.
same. Exactly, because both of them are the
Yeah.
same thing, right?
Yeah.
Hmm. So, if I say that, okay, these gametophytes, they make the gametes. So, one will be the female gamete, one will be the male gamete. What do you think will be the ploidy of these gametes?
What?
What will be the ploidy of gametes?
What is ploidy?
Ploidy is like haploid, diploid, meaning how many number of chromosomes will be there.
Haploid.
Will it be, yeah, it will be haploid, isn't it? Now,
Yeah.
when these will fuse, what will be the ploidy of zygote?
N square.
No, 2n. 2n. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, is this 2n same like the parent n?
No.
So, what type of division should this 2n has to undergo to form n?
Mitosis.
Think again.
Meiosis.
That is the left. Okay, that will be the answer. But do you know why? Why meiosis?
In meiosis.
Hmm? Why is meiosis there? Meiosis is a process which reduces the number of
Yeah.
chromosomes, right? So
Yeah.
from 2n, we need to form n. So we need to reduce it, right? We need
Yeah.
it
Yeah. Yeah.
undergo reductional division. So when it will undergo reductional division, it will form n. Now,
Yeah.
normally, since it is 2n, it will undergo reductional division. But what happens here? Before going into reductional division, the zygote turns into a sporophyte, meaning sort of like it.
Why?
I'll tell you why. See, the zygote will turn into a sporophyte by mitosis, not meiosis. Rather than going undergoing meiosis, it undergoes mitosis and forms.
What?
Huh? See,
Be- uh,
don't listen,
When
listen.
the zygote is formed, it will
Hmm.
go through meiosis and then it'll go to it will go through mitosis and then it'll go
Listen.
through.
Normally, it has to undergo meiosis. Then only it can be
Yeah.
getting the N, right? From the 2N. But
Yeah.
it does not undergo meiosis immediately. Okay.
Okay.
Rather, it forms the sporophyte first. And
Okay.
this sporophyte is 2n. Okay.
Okay.
Now, why is the sporophyte formed? Sporophytes are formed so that spores are made. See,
Okay.
some cells of the sporophyte undergo now meiosis to produce haploid spores. Now, when these spores germinate, the gametophyte is formed. So, look at this. This is
Then
female.
where is mitosis?
First of all, you tell me what is mitosis.
You said
No, no, you tell me first. I'll tell you. You tell me.
mitosis equational division.
Equational division, right? And by
Yeah.
mitosis, the number of cells increase.
No,
Huh?
that they remain the same.
No, the chromosome number remains the same, but the number of cells increase. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Hmm. So that is why the zygote, see, listen to this line. The zygote do not undergo reductional division. Okay, immediately. Full stop. The line is over. They are saying that, okay, the zygote, which is supposed to go like undergo reductional division, but it is not undergoing reductional division immediately. Okay.
Okay.
Rather, it is forming a multicellular body, which is known as sporophyte. So,
Okay.
how is multicellular body being, many cells are being formed, and many cells are formed by which division?
Mitosis.
Mitosis. So, instead of immediately
Oh,
undergoing meiosis, the zygote is undergoing mitosis to form sporophyte, which is a
purified.
multicellular body, and this is diploid, 2n. Okay.
Okay.
This, you can say, this sporophyte, some cells of this would undergo meiosis now to form spores. Now, when these spores will germinate, a new gametophyte will be formed.
Okay.
Then the whole cycle will repeat again.
Okay.
Got it?
Yes.
Clear?
Yes.
All right. Any doubts up till now?
No.
Sure.
Yes.
Khadija, is it clear to you also? Khadija? Khadija, you there? Okay. Now moving forward, bryophytes in general are of little economic importance, but some mosses provide food for herbaceous mammals, birds, and other animals. Species of sphagnum. See, sphagnum is a moss. Like moss is a general term. Like if I say plants, plant is a general term,
Yes.
right? And under plants, so many types can come, right? Gymnosperm, angiosperm, algae, bryophyte, pteridophyte. Same way, the moss is a general term. It is a variety. Under that comes the example of a moss is a sphagnum. Okay.
Yes.
And always remember that the common name of sphagnum is peat moss. Peat moss. So the species of sphagnum, which is a moss, it provides peat that have been long used as a fuel and as packaging material for transshipping of living material because of their capacity to hold water. Now, the best thing about
What
mosses,
is
right?
E?
I'll tell you. Wait, sabr, sabr. Listen. First of all, like mosses, they have a great capacity to hold water. Like, just imagine them like sponges. Like how sponges, if you dip them in water, they hold a lot of water,
Yeah.
right? Same way, the moss also absorbs a lot of water. So, whenever someone wanted to transport any living material, for example, a plant only. So, a plant requires like regular watering. So, instead of,
Yes.
because since it will be shipping, so there will be no one to water it. So, it was packed along with moss. Okay, and then that moss provides the water because it has water holding capacity. Since it absorbed so much of water, it gives the water to the plant or whatever organism that needs the water. Okay, now
Yes.
let me show you peat. Peat is a substance which is used as a form of fuel. First of all, let us look at the peat moss. See, this is this brown thing that you're seeing. This is the peat. Okay, and it is
Oh,
produced by the peat moss, and it is used as fuel. Like when you burn it, it obviously inflames. Okay, gives us fire. Okay,
yes,
you seeing this? So that is
yes.
okay. And let us see sphagnum. Sphagnum, see, sphagnum moss plant for 1 kg, 449 rupees. Do you want to buy? See,
What?
I'm showing sphagnum moss for plants 1 kg, 449 rupees. So this is peat moss. It is used for packaging purposes. Got it? Now, why
Okay.
it is used for packaging purposes? Because it has a great capacity to hold water. Also, why is it used as fuel? Because like it has been used as fuel. Okay. Now, mosses, along with the lichens, are the first organism to colonize rocks and hence are of great ecological importance. See, suppose there is a land. Okay. Now, you might have heard about succession, that slowly, slowly a little plant arises, then bigger plant arises, that even bigger, then even bigger, and then all the animals start living in that area. This is known as succession. So, succession usually begins with the mosses and the lichens. Okay, meaning the inhabiting of a land, a new land, that is succession, and it is done like initially with mosses and lichens. So that is why mosses are so important. Now, apart from that, they decompose rocks, making the substrate suitable for the growth of higher plants. Since they decompose rocks, so whatever minerals and all are like present in the rock, it goes and mixes with the soil. So it is available to the plants for absorption. Okay. Also, since mosses form dense mats on the soil, they reduce the impact of falling rain and prevent soil erosion. They bind the soil, they hold the soil. And then we already know that the bryophytes are divided into liverworts and mosses. Okay. Now we'll be studying each one. First, we'll study liverworts. But tell me, up till now, do you have any doubts?
No.
All right, let's move forward and talk about liverworts. Now, liverworts grow usually in moist, shady habitats such as the banks of stream, marshy ground, damp soil, bark of trees, and deep in the woods. The plant body of a liverwort is thalloid. And one example of liverwort, the most famous example ever, is Mercantia. Okay, Mercantia is the most famous example of liverwort. Now,
I want to see.
you want to see the Mercantia? Okay. Why isn't this moving? See, this is Mercantia.
Oh,
And see it carefully because one more thing can come from this. Do you see this cup like structure on its body?
you, yeah.
It is of much significance. We'll be talking about it. So this is Mercantia. Okay.
Okay.
The thallus of the Mercantia is dorsiventral and closely oppressed to the substrate. Okay, it is flat. The leafy members have tiny leaf-like appendages in two rows on the stem-like structures. Always remember, since it is bryophyte, leaf-like, stem-like, root-like structures will be there. There will be no true root, stem, or leaf. Got it?
Okay.
Hmm. Now talking about the asexual reproduction, in the case of liverwort, it would take place by fragmentation of the thalli or by the formation of specialized structure that are known as gamma. So two methods of asexual reproduction are there. The first one is fragmentation and the next one is gamma. Now what is gamma? Fragmentation, you understand or not?
Yes.
What is fragmentation? Quickly.
When the when there
Hmm?
what was the example?
Spirogyra?
Yeah, spiragra. If it's cut into fragments, then if it's, for example, if it's cut into three fragments, then three fragments will grow into new bodies.
Hmm. Same goes for the liverworts also. Okay, so
Okay.
the first way by which they can reproduce asexually, right? So this is
Yes.
fragmentation. And the second method of asexual reproduction is the gamma. Now, what is gamma? The gamma are green, multicellular, asexual buds, which develop in small receptacles that are known as gamma cups. So the cup we saw, that was gamma cup, and inside will be gamma. Okay. Now, the gamma becomes detached from the parent body and germinate into like a new individual. Okay, so these structures that you're seeing, it will detach from the parent's body and then develop into a new individual. Got it? Clear?
Yes.
Asexual reproduction of liverworts is clear?
Yes.
All right, very good. Now let us move forward and talk about the sexual reproduction. So during sexual reproduction, male and female sex organs are produced either on the same or on different thalli. Thalli is the plural of thallus. The sporophyte is differentiated into a foot, seta, and capsule. After meiosis, spores are produced within the capsule. These spores germinate to form free living gametophyte. Now see, this is the basic structure, like this is the gametophyte part. On the gametophyte part, the sporophyte part will be present, and the sporophyte will be divided into capsule, seta, and foot. Okay, and these capsule, they contain the spores. So when
Where
these
is
spores,
foot?
they haven't shown, but foot will be down here.
Oh,
Okay, and whenever the spores will be liberated, they would germinate to form a new gametophyte. Okay,
yes.
any doubts?
No.
So liverworts is clear. The asexual sexual reproduction is clear.
Yes.
Now, do you know why the zygote does not immediately undergoes meiosis?
Yeah.
Hmm. Now, let us talk about mosses. Now, the predominant stage of life cycle is the gametophyte. We already know the most, like the plant, like the life cycle or the reproductive cycle starts with a gametophytic phase. Now, this gametophyte consists of two stages. The first stage is the protonema stage, which develops directly from a spore, protonema. It is a creeping, green, branched, and frequently filamentous stage. Then the second stage is known as the leafy stage, which develops from the secondary protonema as a lateral bud. So this gametophyte body, it occurs in two stages. The first stage is protonema stage. The second stage is leafy stage. Let us see if there is a picture of it. See, it is a creeping green colored stage. See that you see. Okay, and this is the primary stage, the protonema stage. Okay, it is creeping, it is green, it is branched and filamentous stage. Then the second stage is the leafy stage that develops from the secondary protonema as a lateral bud. Now let us see leafy stage. First stage is protonema. Second stage is leafy stage of moss. Let us see that. Now see. Which of the picture is showing it better? Yeah, look. This one. Where did it go? Yeah, see here. This part, which is the creeping part, is the protonema stage. Okay, and then from the lateral bud of this protonema would give rise to this leafy stage. You're seeing this leaf-like structure?
Yes.
It is the body of the gametophyte. Got it? So they consist of upright, slender axis bearing spirally arranged leaves. Again, not true leaves. They attach to the soil through multicellular and branched rhizoids. This stage bears the sex organs. Obviously, the gametophytic stage. Now, the gametophytic stage here only is divided into two, protonema and leafy stage. So, they would only develop into, like, they would only have the sex organ. This much is clear? Or any doubt is there? Hmm?
Clear.
Khadija, are you there in the class or not? I think she is not there. If you're there, kindly put it in the chat box if you're not able to use your mic.
How many pages are there left?
Hmm?
How many pages are left?
Pages. There are many, you can say, the divisions are left. We are only on bryophytes. We have pteridophytes, then we have gymnosperms, and then we have angiosperms. A little bit about angiosperms.
That is not coming.
This little introduction will come. The part that is deleted is not there in the chapter only. Like this is a new PDF, so the part which is deleted is not there. The angiosperm part,
Oh,
you'll find it very nice. It's very easy, very nice, very sweet. It's the best of all, and it's tiny.
nah.
All right, now let us talk about the vegetative reproduction in the mosses. So it takes place by fragmentation, yet again, and budding. Okay. In the secondary protonema, meaning in the leafy stage, the vegetative propagation or vegetative reproduction happens in the leafy stage. Okay. Now, talking about the sexual reproduction, the sex organs, which are antheridia and archegonia, they are produced at the apex of the leafy shoot. After fertilization, the zygote develops into a sporophyte, and this sporophyte consists of a foot, seta, and capsule. The sporophyte in mosses is more elaborate as compared to the liverworts. The capsule bears spores as usual. The spores are obviously formed after the meiosis and it would give rise to a new organism. Okay.
The
Now,
same, right?
yeah, it will be the same because both of them are bryophytes, just different members. Here it is much more elaborate in the case of mosses as compared to the liverworts. Got it?
But in liverworts, it was different.
It will be. See, both of them are in one division only, which is bryophytes, but yet there are different organisms. So a little bit difference will be there, like budding was not there, right? Gamma was there.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah.
So tiny bit difference. Now, example of mosses. What was the example of liverwort?
Um, ma ma ma
Hmm.
macan mac
Mercantia. Yeah,
mercantia.
yes. Now let's see the examples of mosses. So we have funaria, polytrichum, and sphagnum. Sphagnum you've already seen, right?
Yes.
What is the common name of sphagnum?
Peat.
Peat what? Moss.
Peat moss.
Peat is the substance that it makes. Peat moss is
Yeah.
the common name. Now let us see funaria. This is how funaria looks like. See, you can easily make out the capsule, the seta, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yes.
Easily make out the capsule seta. Look here in this diagram. Sorry, picture. So easy to make out. Look, it is a sporophyte. And see, down here is the gametophyte, the leafy structure, right? It is the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
capsule, the seta, and the foot will be inside. Got it?
Yes.
This was funaria. Now, what is the other example of mosses? Polytrichum. Let's see, polytrichum. This is how a polytrichum looks like.
Wow.
Okay,
My favorite.
your favorite. So
Yeah.
this is polytrichum. Okay, so with this
Yes.
we have completed bryophytes. Any doubts up till now?
Yay.
So Deja, what happened? Why are you so late? Deja, why are you so late to the class today? 46 minutes late. Are you there, Deja? Give me 1 second. All right, now moving forward, let us talk about the pteridophytes. Now, pteridophytes would include, such as like how bryophytes included liverworts and mosses, same way the pteridophytes would include horsetails and ferns. Have you heard about ferns?
Yeah.
Hmm? They're beautiful. Like ferns are actually beautiful. Let's look at ferns. See, like many people grow it in
Wow.
houses. Like I also had a fern in my house. They're beautiful. Okay, so these are ferns. These are ornamentals. You understand ornamentals?
Yes.
They are used for decoration purposes. Now, pteridophytes are used for medicinal purpose and as soil binders. Okay, meaning they hold the soil so well. Now, up till the bryophytes, we saw that they had leaf-like, stem-like, root-like structure. But now we will find real root, real stem, and real leaf. True root, true stem, and true leaves. Okay. Now, these pteridophytes, they are frequently grown as ornamentals, meaning the plants that can be used for decoration purposes. Also, they are the first terrestrial plants, okay, to possess the vascular tissues which are xylem and phloem. Up till bryophytes, there were no vascular tissues because they were very primitive. Their body was thalloid. So since their body did not was not tall, it was rather like this. So this structure would not need anything to conduct water and food, right? Because it is very thallus-like. But a structure that is long, that is erect, that would need something to conduct water either from downwards to upwards or from upwards to downwards. A column will be needed. Getting my point? Hmm?
Forgot what is thallus.
A thallus is anything that does not have differentiated body parts. Like root, stem, leaves, they will be like a mush.
Oh, okay.
That is a thallus. Got it?
Yes.
So if anything will be in a thalloid structure, thallus form, will that require anything to conduction? Think about it.
No.
No, right? But what if a whole like root, stem, and leaf body parts are there? Then something conducting tissues, vascular tissues are required. So xylem and phloem are present in the pteridophytes now. Also remember, always remember, they are the first one to inhabit land. Okay, purely. Now, where are they found? So they are found in cool, damp, shady places, though some may flourish well in the sandy soil conditions. You may recall that in bryophytes, the dominant phase was gametophyte, right? But in the case of pteridophytes, the main plant body is a sporophyte. The main plant body is diploid. Whenever I say sporophyte, think diploid. Whenever I say gametophyte, think haploid. Okay. So the main plant body of pteridophyte is sporophytic plant body, that is 2N. Now it will be differentiated into true roots, true stem, and true leaves. These organs possess well differentiated vascular tissues. Xylem and phloem will be well differentiated. Now, the leaves in the pteridophyta, they are small, meaning microphyls. Okay, small and large, both type of leaves will be there. So small leaves, micro means small, fills means leaf. So microphyls meaning small leaves. These will small leaves will be found in Selaginella. This is one example. Let us look at Selaginella. This is Selaginella. Do you see small leaves? Tiny, tiny leaves,
Yes.
right? Okay. So small leaves will be found in Selaginella and large leaves are macrophyls. They are found in the ferns. We already saw ferns, right?
Yes.
Hmm. See, larger leaves are there in the ferns, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So macrophyls are found in ferns. Microphyls are found in Selaginella. Now, the sporophytes, they bear sporangia that are subtended by a leaf-like structure or appendage that is known as sporophyll. Now see, the leaf that contains the sporangia, they will be known as the sporophyll. Okay, now these
Can you
sporophyll,
repeat?
hmm, see the leaves that would contain the sporangia, okay, they would be known as the sporophylls. Sporophylls. Let us look at sporophylls also.
Chlorophyll, chlorophyll.
Hmm, see, the leaves, they contain the sporangia. They are sporophyll. Okay. Like
You.
how macrophyll, microphyll, fill means leaves. Tiny leaves,
Oh.
microphyll. Large leaves, macrophylls. Sporous leaves, sporophylls. Okay. Now, in some of the cases, what happens is that these sporophylls that we talked about, okay, the sporophylls, they would like come together and make compact structure which is known as strobili or a cone. Okay, let us look at what and how it happens. The leaves have found like a cone-like structure now. Okay,
Oh,
meaning
I
it
know them.
is, yeah, but these are not pine cones.
I thought it was pine.
No, it is not.
It looks so familiar.
It does, but it is not. It is strobili. Okay, it is very small. It is not that big. Pine cones are huge. It is very tiny.
Oh.
Okay, so these sporophylls, they got compact. Now, in whose cases we will find these strobili? We find it in Selaginella. We find it in Equisetum. Let us look at Equisetum yet again. This is your Equisetum.
Wow.
Okay, see, beautiful. Looks like a brush that cleans the bottle, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Also, look here, this diagram. See, they have shown strobilus also in the diagram, the cones. Okay, equisetum, this is the sporophytic body and this is the strobilus area. Okay, So this much is
Mm,
clear?
yes.
Yeah. And now these sporangia would make spores, obviously by the process of meiosis. Okay. But in the spore mother cells. And these spores would germinate to give rise to inconspicuous, small, but multicellular structure. That is the gametophyte. So here everything is happening the opposite of the bryophytes. Like how in bryophytes, it started with a gametophyte and then a sporophyte was formed. But here it starts with a sporophyte and then only the gametophyte will be formed. Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm. Now the gametophytes of the pteridophytes, they would require cool, damp, shady places because of this specific restricted requirement and the need for water for fertilization. The spread of living pteridophyte is limited and restricted to narrow geographical region, meaning they are not widespread. They are found in only those areas where you would find cool, damp, and shady areas. Okay. Now, yet again, the gametophytes would make the gametes, which is antheridia and archegonia, and the structures, right? Meaning antherozoids, the male gamete, and the egg will be made. Yet again, fusion will take place. In obviously, water will be required. Then zygote will be formed. Thereafter, produces a multicellular sporophyte, which is the dominant phase. Yet, okay,
Same as bryophytes.
just the opposite. It starts with a sporophyte in the case of pteridophyte, but it
No, but
starts.
after the zygote,
Yeah, after the zygote, yet again, sporophyte will be made. Okay.
it was the same in bryophytes, right?
Hmm. Now, in majority of the pteridophyte, all the spores are of similar kind. Such plants are known as homosporous, meaning same kind of spores. It is found in Selaginella and Salvinia. Sorry, no, it is not found in Selaginella and Salvinia. The ones that have same kind of spores, they are known as homosporous, but in the case of Selaginella and Salvinia, which have two kinds of spores, one will be larger spores, one will be smaller spores, they are known as heterosporous, meaning two kinds of spores are made. Okay. Then each of those spores would germinate and form the gametophyte, right? Male and female. The female gametophyte, they are present on the parent sporophyte. Okay, like they are present there for a long period of time to derive nutrition. Then the development of the zygote into young embryos takes place within the female gametophyte. Now, this event wherein the zygote is developing into young embryo inside the female's body, this event is a precursor to the seed habit. It is a very important step in evolution. So it actually showed that the plants were also evolving. Just like how the animals were evolving, the plants were evolving as well. Okay. Now we have Salvinia to see. Okay, let us look at Salvinia. Do you have any doubts up till now?
No.
See, Salvinia. Okay, this is Salvinia. Now let us see. Yeah, the pteridophytes are further classified into four classes. Psilopsida. In this, the example of the organism is Xylotum. Lycopsida. The example is Selaginella and Lycopodium. Sphenopsida. The example is Equisetum. Pteropsida, the example is Dryopteris, Pteris, and Adiantum. These are the
The
organisms.
words are so hard.
Yeah. But once you'll study it 2 to 3 times, it will be very easy. It's not hard. It's just like new names, weird names. So these are the classes. Okay, like kingdom, phylum, class, same way classes. Okay.
Yes.
Any doubts up till now? Do you want to see Xylotum?
No.
No?
No.
Let's see how it looks like. Even I haven't seen Xylotum. Look, Xylotum. Do you want to see others?
No.
No? Alright, then let's move forward and talk about gymnosperms. We are almost about nearing the end of the chapter. So, gymnosperms. Now, the word gymnosperms, if we break it into two, gymnos means naked and sperma means seed. So, the naked seeds. These are the plants in which the ovules, meaning the seed, ovule means the seed, they are not enclosed by an ovary. Ovary means fruit. So, all those seeds that are not covered by any covering or any fruit wall, those seeds are exposed both before and after fertilization. So, here the seeds are naked. Naked meaning they are not covered by any ovary. Always remember that if I say seed, always bring ovule to your mind. Ovule, you remember ovule?
Yes.
The ovule develops into the seed in the plants. Okay, so seed that develop after the fertilization, they are not covered, means they are naked. Gymnosperms include medium-sized trees or tall trees and shrubs. One of the gymnosperms, the giant redwood tree, sequoia, is one of the tallest tree species.
I want to
The
see.
root Okay, let me complete that, right? The roots are generally tap roots. Tap roots, you people remember?
Yes.
Let us look at sequoia. It is the tallest tree.
Wow. So cool.
Yeah, and this is a gymnosperm. Now you know. If you see sequoia anywhere, you'd say, "Oh, I know a gymnosperm. I know a gymnosperm."
It's so huge.
Yeah, it's huge. It's one of the tallest trees. Alrighty. It is known as the giant redwood tree. Okay. Now, the roots, taproots. Root in some genera have fungal association in the form of mycorrhiza. So pinus, the root of pinus have the fungal association, and they are known as mycorrhiza because we know that the symbiotic association of fungus. Now, this is a pine cone. See,
I have seen pinus in real life
mm, even I have.
in my lab
Oh, in your lab, I have seen
in
it
the
real. I
for
have
the
seen it in the lab
practicals.
also, and I have seen it real while I was like traveling to Darjeeling. I've seen this beautiful, beautiful
I have seen ascaris too.
ascaris. Oh, that too
Yeah,
in the lab.
yeah, and asteria starfish.
Oh wow, I haven't seen starfishes. Have you seen Scolidon?
No,
That must have been in your lab also. Let's see Scolidon. It looks very pathetic.
pathetic.
Hmm. Like the preserved one. Like this is the normal one.
Uh,
Let me see Scolidon preserved. Do they even have a picture of it?
no.
It's sort of, it looks mushed and bad. See, see, see.
You.
Yeah, I told
I
you it
feel
was.
bad. I feel bad.
You feel bad for it.
Yeah.
But it had died and then it was preserved.
What if they killed it?
Yeah, you never know. Alright. So now we know that in the roots of the pinus tree, the fungal association, which is known as the mycorrhiza, that is there. While in some others, meaning in the cycas, small specialized roots, which are known as coralloid roots, are associated with nitrogen fixing cyanobacteria. So in the roots of the cycas, certain cyanobacteria are present that are capable of fixing nitrogen. And the roots of
Mm.
the cycas are known as coralloid roots. First, we'll see cycas. See, this is cycas. Now, everyone has seen this tree. I don't think there's no one who has not seen this tree.
It looks like a palm tree.
Sort of like a palm tree, smaller one, right?
Yeah, it's cute.
This is a cycas, and the roots of the cycas would have coral, meaning the type of roots is coralloid root. like this, bulgy roots. And in these roots will be present the cyanobacteria, which will fix the atmospheric nitrogen and make it available to the plant, which is the cycas. Okay.
Mm.
Now the stems are unbranched in the cycas, right? We saw one stem and then the leaves were there. So the stems were unbranched, or it can be branched as in the case of Pinus and Cedrus. Look, this is Cedrus. Here, obviously, you can see the leaves are, sorry, the branches are there, right? The stems are branched.
I love
And also in the
gymnosperms.
case of Pinus. Okay. Now,
Yes.
the leaves may be simple or compound. In cycas, the pinnate leaves persist for a few years. The leaves in gymnosperms are well adapted to withstand extremes of temperature, humidity, and wind. In conifers, the needle-like leaves are present. Why? So that the surface area could be reduced. So, needle-like leaves are present to reduce the surface area. They have thick cuticle and they have sunken stomata to reduce the water loss. Okay, so since these like the leaves in the gymnosperms, they are very much adapted so that they can withstand any of the harsh conditions, whether it is the high temperature, whether it is high humidity, high wind. So they have, what are the adaptations that they have? They have thick cuticles. Now see, in all of the plants that we are seeing, are you seeing a normal leaf like this? Like the normal leaves that we have,
No,
like this one?
no.
No, right? Everywhere
No.
that you see pokey leaves, right? Like this.
Yes, yes.
So this is an adaptation. Okay. They have thick and
Oh,
like they have like needle-like leaves. It is a characteristic feature of
what is
gymnosperm.
cuticle?
Cuticle is the outermost layer of the plant's body. Thick cuticle is there.
Oh, okay.
Now, gymnosperms, they are heterosporous, meaning they make two type of spores, microspores and megaspores, and both of them are haploid. Microspores are like the male spores, megaspores are the female ones. Now, actually, microspores are the smaller spores, megaspore are the bigger one. The two kinds of spores are produced within the sporangia that are present on the sporophyll, and these sporophylls are present in the form of strobili or cones in these also. Okay. Now, the strobili, which like it would bear the microsporophyll, meaning they have microspores present. Okay, or they have microsporangia, and they are known as the male strobili. Same way, the female strobili will be there. Now, the microspores develop into a male gametophytic generation to form the pollen grain. So now, here in the case of gymnosperm, finally pollen grains are being formed. Now, the cones bearing the megasporophylls with ovules or megasporangia will be the female strobili. Okay, both of them will be there. Now, the male and or the female cones or strobili may be born on the same tree. So, if it is on the same tree, it is the example is Pinus. However, in the case of Cycas, we should have written it with a capital C. However, in Cycas, male cones and megasporophylls are born on different trees. The male ones on the male, female ones on the female. Now, the megaspore mother cell is differentiated, nucellus is formed, and it is protected by envelopes, and the composite structure is known as the ovule. So now ultimately we are leading to ovule. And when I say ovule, what do you think?
Seed.
Seed, correct. Now the ovules are borne on the megasporophylls, which may be clustered to form the female cones. Okay, up till now is everything clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, one of the megaspores enclosed within the megasporangium develops into a multicellular female gametophyte that bears two or more archegonia or the female sex organ. Yet again, the gametophyte will be making the gametes. So, the multicellular female gamete is retained within the megasporangium. Now, unlike the bryophytes and pteridophytes, In gymnosperms, the male and the female gametophytes do not have independent free living existence. Like how in the case of bryophytes, there was independent existence, they lived separately. The sporophyte was attached onto the gametophyte, right? But here, the case is completely different. Now, the pollen grain is released from the microsporangium. They are carried out in air currents and come in contact with the opening of the ovules, bone on the megasporophyll. Now, since the pollen tube carrying the male gametes grows towards the archegonia, just imagine them being growing towards the ovule. And then the male gamete will fuse with the egg cell and zygote will be formed. And then this zygote will develop into embryo and then ovules will develop into seed. But one thing again to remember is that these seeds, they are not covered. They will be just seed. See here. They are just seeds. They do not have any fruit covering. Like normally, whenever you eat a fruit, you find a seed in it.
Yes.
But here you won't. Got it? So this was about
Yes.
gymnosperm. Any doubt?
No.
Now you already know the examples: Pinus, Cycas,
Yes.
Cedrus, right?
Yes.
What else? Pinus, Cycas, Cedrus. Is there anything that I'm leaving?
No.
Sequoia. Am I not leaving Sequoia? The redwood tree. Yeah. Okay. Now let us talk about the angiosperms, the last
Yay.
part. So unlike the gymnosperms, where the ovules are naked, meaning the seeds are naked, in the angiosperms or the flowering plants, the pollen grains and ovules are developed in the specialized structures that are known as flowers. Angiosperms are also known as flowering plants. So they have flowers. Their seeds are covered or enclosed in fruits.
We had a
And
whole chapter.
yeah, the angiosperms are an exceptionally large group of plants occurring in a wide range of habitats. They range in size from the smallest Wolfia to tall trees of eucalyptus that are over 100 meters tall. They provide us with food, fodder, fuel, medicines, and several other commercially important products. Angiosperms can be divided into two classes, the dicotyledons and the monocotyledons. This is like how many cotyledons are there in the seed.
Yes.
So now here you have angiosperms, which is this is the dicot, this is the monocot. Now let us look at the pictures of Wolfia and eucalyptus.
No wonder it's deleted. You.
See, it is the smallest. It is the smallest angiosperm ever. So it
Why are
is
they doing
small.
that?
It is smallest. They're holding it in hand to show you.
Oh,
Now let us look at eucalyptus. You might have heard about eucalyptus oil,
yes.
very therapeutic, right? This is your
Yes.
beloved eucalyptus.
Wow.
Okay. Now let us see one more thing that comes under angiosperms also.
I saw.
Oh, so nice,
Wow.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. So with that, we have completed our whole entire syllabus. How do you feel? Proud of yourself?
Yeah. Loki.
See, I made this chapter fun. Wasn't it fun?
Yes.
Now, if you say that it was not fun, you'll face consequences.
No, the chapter wasn't fun, but then you made it fun.
Yeah. So ultimately, the chapter is completed, and now your whole entire syllabus is completed. So now
Yay.
we'll start with revision classes. Okay. And like, how are your practicals going? Or exams or
My
whatever?
practicals are done.
Your exams are going on,
Yeah, I have PE tomorrow.
and then it's over.
No, I
When
have
is it?
physics, English, and then bio next week.
And then by next, like by the next Monday, you'll be free, isn't it?
Next to next Monday, yes.
Next to next.
Mm.
Okay, this Monday you have any test?
Huh?
On this like coming Monday, do you have any test or exam on Monday?
I don't have on Monday, but the next day I have exam.
All right. Okay, we'll see. But even so, if you do have time, at least try to prepare the first two chapters. Okay, living world and biological classification. That's it.
I don't think I'll attend the class.
Okay, anyway, we'll see to that. So this chapter is clear to everyone.
Yes.
Any doubts?
No.
All right, then, very good. So now, since your whole entire syllabus is completed, now you people can go, you people can relax and study for whatever test it is that is going on for you. Right? And we'll obviously meet
Yeah.
on Monday. So if you do have any doubts or anything you want to ask me, or is there anything like biology test is over, right?
No, it's not. It's next
Not?
Thursday.
Oh God. Okay. So we'll discuss
A
your papers
whole
also.
syllabus.
Hmm. Whole syllabus. Chalo, good. It's that your syllabus is completed now.
Yeah.
Now all that you have to do is
Next
study.
Monday, can we please do blood circulation chapter? I forgot that chapter.
All right, we'll do so.
I mean, not the whole chapter, but like some topics.
Fine. I'll revise. I'll make you revise the whole chapter only. Or is there any other topic from any other chapter also? We can do that. Okay.
Okay.
You make a list.
No, blood circulation, and that's it. I think
Oh.
that's the only chapter because I did it. I did that chapter in a hurry, right?
Hmm.
That's why.
All right. Then we'll revise it and